everyone. I wanted to make a video of my new Kubota I just got. It's a B6100. It's a stick and it's four-wheel drive. I've been wanting one of these for a while. I wanted this factory snow plow that has power angle. Obviously it has power to lift it, but also it has down pressure as well. The tractor, I would say, is probably rear early 80s. Not sure the exact year. It needs a little bit of work, nothing too major so far. I did just change the engine oil. I put a new fuel filter and air filter on it. The transmission needed a little bit of work. I think it had 80-90 gear oil in it instead of trans hydraulic oil. And it also had a torn shifter boot, so some water got down in and made the fluid look milky, so I did change that out. If you come over here, I'll show you the new boot I put on. So that's replaced and fixed. I'll show you the old one a little later. I did have the shifter knob on here. It's not threaded on. For some reason it's a press fitting, so to be able to install the new boot, I had to cut the shifter on each side and then cut it down the top and then split it off. So I'll be getting another one of them. Needs a new seat at some point. It does have its factory tail lights. They're missing the lenses and the wiring's a little hinky. I did just fix the wiring today. It had a dead short. As soon as I turned the headlight switch on, it would blow the fuse right away, and then the hour meter would stop. But I do have one headlight working, and both the tail lights are working. But it's just missing a socket for this headlight, so I will fix that. That's not that big of a deal. These are really nice. It also has, it also came with this 4-foot finishing mower, which is actually in really good shape. It only needs one bushing for one of the rear spindles for the wheels. It's a rear discharge finishing mower, which most of them are. Deck's nice and solid yet. I mowed with it twice now, so I'm very happy with that. I do want to try and find the one bushing that it's missing. I should grease it, and a lot of times it's a good idea to take the belt guards off of these and clean out all the built-up grass that gets in there. That way it doesn't hold moisture and rot down through the deck. Then I'm going to sharpen the blades on it. But the sheet metal on this is really good. The fenders and hood are nice and straight, not all beat up, which is pretty rare. I don't think there's too much to really show back here. I did free up this turnbuckle. It does work. I'm just going to work on these turnbuckles for the sides. Looking under the hood, I need a new clamp. It's missing the bolt here. This air cleaner, I don't know if they ran it into something, but the front of this is kind of oblonged. It's not completely round anymore. So the cover doesn't fit on the easiest. You have to kind of mess with it a little to get it on. So I'm going to try and take and straighten both pieces back out and make it work a little nicer. Eventually it's going to get new battery cables because this has replacement ends on it. The fuel tank looks really horrible. I thought it was partially because maybe this return hose was bad, but I actually was looking at the gas cap and there's a replaceable rubber gasket for the cap that is missing. So I'll probably do glow plugs on it. Where it looks like the radiator's been leaking, it's actually this overflow tube doesn't have a clamp on it, and also it has a giant hole in it. So that's an easy fix. What else? It needs majorly pressure washed. It's grimy as all get out. And this, your breather hose, it's extremely hard anymore and stiff. And I did just pull it out here, but it actually, there's a hole through this guard where it actually just comes straight down. And it was just laying in here, so that helped contribute to a lot of the oil and buildup on the engine. But the tires are in good shape. I think the front tires have been replaced. The rear tires look to be original. I don't know what else to really say about it. Here's where the wire was pinched. So it was pinched down in here, so I had to loosen this bolt, pull this cover back, and the wire was bare there, so I fixed that. It's just rigged up for now. Eventually I'll rewire the headlights and get the lenses for the back. And I want to take and sand down this front and paint the blade up. I'm going to try and keep it mostly all original. The paint really needs a good buffing, but this original paint will clean up fairly decent. It just oxidizes and gets really bad when it's not taken care of, and it's all about 40 years old. I'm also going to turn the muffler up. You can actually rotate it, and the manifold is actually a square, so I can actually rotate it up 90 degrees and make it vertical, which I like and prefer. It actually even has a little support bracket underneath that for when it's horizontal. So I'm actually going to take that and keep that because I don't have any of them for any of these 100 series. And obviously it's missing the toolkit. They're always missing the toolkit. But it's in good shape. It runs pretty well. It's a 3-cylinder diesel. It's only rated at 14 horsepower. So, you know, for this size tractor, it can move itself around pretty good. Pulling this mower in some really high grass, I mean, it was struggling a little bit, but I also like to mow fast. I don't like to go slow. It's kind of annoying. But it definitely has enough power to go. If you look at your controls here, these are pretty standard. You have a 3-speed PTO. You have your high and low range. You have your 4-wheel drive. You have your rear diff lock, which everything does work on it. And it even has its hood latches on still, which a lot of times they go MIA. So I'll probably make a video of this when it gets, when I do a little more work to it, when it gets pressure washed and cleaned up. And I want to get a parts order ready for next week and do a little bit of the small items on it. It also has, it's not charging, which that can, it's probably a 90% chance this mechanism here in the front is actually, they call it a water pump stator assembly. Although it honestly is not a water pump, it's just a jacket to let the water flow through. There is no impeller in there. It works off of, I guess, convection, where the hot coolant pushes out, and then as the coolant cools, it flows down and it creates its own cycle. But there is a charging stator in here, which is basically like a very crude alternator, and it just creates AC current, which goes up to a regulator that's under the dash here. And these normally go bad. In the shop manual, it does say that you need to pull the cylinder head off to do these, but if you have a really small wrench, you can get the one nut on the very bottom, and you can do it. It's kind of a little bit of a pain, but it's better than pulling the cylinder head off, getting a new head gasket, getting a new valve cover gasket, and then you would have to readjust the valves on these because you don't have hydraulic lifters. So that's really, I would say, the biggest thing on this. It's kind of an Achilles heel. They always seem to go bad. But the tractor has 1,300 hours on it, and it's all but 40 years old. So if it needs a $200 part, big deal. It's not that it's not really that bad. It could be a hell of a lot worse. But so far I really like it. I enjoyed mowing with it, and I'm hoping we'll get a little snow this winter and try this little plow out. I hope you guys liked the video. Please like, comment, subscribe.